Hey YouTube, it's Amic0 with another Visual Basic tutorial. Today we're going to be going over data types and variables and subs. Okay, so to get started, double-click your form, which will get you into your form load sub. We'll go over subs in a second. Let's go over the popular data types and variables. So what I'm going to start off with is a Boolean. And a Boolean is anything that can be either true or false. This variable will hold the value of true or false, nothing else. So let's write dim, which stands for dimensionalize, and anytime you want to declare any type of variable, always write dim first. So I want to dim the word, and we can name this anything, is hungry as a Boolean. And now you got to give Boolean some type of value to hold, and we'll set it as true. So right now, if you call is hungry anywhere in the code, it will return the value true. Ignore that. So if you're doing some kind of if-then statement, which we'll go over in probably the next tutorial, you can use this. You got to understand it now and use it later. Next, let's go over integers. So I'm going to dim order as integer. Now, an integer just holds some kind of numerical value. Now, there's different types of data types like integer, and I'm not going to go into them in this tutorial, but this is as good as you need to know. So let's say your pizza costs let's just say it costs $5. So it's as easy as this. Order equals 5. Now, order is now the same thing as writing 5 the number. It is the variable for 5. And what we can do is simple math like order equals order plus 5 again for like tax. Or what you could do is dim tax as integer equal to $3. So what we can do is order plus tax. And that should update order to equal $5 plus $3. Okay, next let's go over strings. I'm going to delete that. Let's dim text as string. So what I'm going to do here actually is go back to the design and add a text box. Right here. Okay, now, text is a string, which means text, the variable, can now hold a string value. String just means type. Any type of words, anything like that. So let's dim text equal to text box 1.text. Now, this won't continuously update. This will grab this as soon as the form loads. So as the form is loading, whatever is in textbox1.text text will be equal to. So let's put something in there now just to prove this. This is a string. Okay. Now you could also put this on a button, which would work just as well. And what I'm going to do is make a message box, which is another thing you're going to learn here. MSG box and parentheses, and what I'm going to write is text. So let's go over this again. The value of textbox1.text, the text value, this is a string. We just dimensionalized text as a string, and text is equal to the textbox1.text. Now, when the form loads, message box will then come up with text. This is a string. So it worked. Okay, one more thing. When you dim something, dim blah as string, you can only call blah from inside the sub that you're calling from. So if you try to use blah in a different sub, it won't work. Let's make an example. So if I double-click button 1 and type in button1.text equals blah, it's not going to work because blah is not declared within the sub. However, if we put whatever we want inside of the class of form1, this will apply to everything inside of this class. So now it'll work. Next, let's go over subs. Now I'm going to go very basic. I'm going to private sub, and then we'll type in text, and then do parenthesis, because that is where we would hold other types of data, which we will probably do in another tutorial. When you press enter, it'll automatically end the sub for you. Now, inside here, we can do any type of function that we want and then call it later. So let's just type in message box and tab to autocomplete, by the way, and then enter a string of hello. Okay, we can't use text because it's already being used, so let's just type in text1. There we go. Anytime you see something underlined in green, that just means there's some kind of conflict or error. So let's go back, double click our button. Now, in our button, what we want to do is call the sub text1. So I'm going to write is call text1. And what that'll do is execute all the code with inside here. So if we press play, press our button, we get the message box, hello. That is the basics of data types, variables, and subs. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial when we go over if-then statements.